Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to Two Dummies That Just Watch a Sports Podcast Between Friends. This is episode number 35. I am one of your hosts, Will Hernandez, and I am joined, as always, by my co host, rocking the fucking Eagles hat, Mr. Lee J. Perilla. Lee J, how are you today besides being a piece of shit wearing that hat?
Hallelujah.
Good Lord. You got some nerve wearing that.
The-
Uh,
you New York, you Giants fans lucky I didn't wear it today to work. It was just too fucking cold. So I had to wear my winter hat.
oh my God. I don't even think I have a winter hat.
I definitely wanted to be on the train trolling today. I wish it was a little hotter, but you already know how that goes with me.
Was it really that cold out there
Yeah,
today? I don't know.
I didn't like the way I felt.
I have not left the apartment today, so
Oh yeah, look at that. Fuck off.
dude, I'm in a fucking weird I'm in a weird zone right now. For those who don't know, I got laid off uh on January 31st. And we're actually going to get into that a little bit later on for our halftime segment
Not the way he
today.
would have liked the word laid to be used, but it's
No.
okay.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Yeah, I'm in this weird like fucking my life is very weird right now, I feel. I don't know if I'm coming or going half the time. So, but
You need a hotline or something?
oh my god. You're ridiculous. Um yeah. But by the way, before I don't want to talk about because I texted you beforehand and I said something about the Super Bowl halftime show, and I don't want to get into it during the Super Bowl segment, so I'm just gonna get into it now. Let's start this. Let's start this podcast with some fury because I'm gonna say that Super Bowl halftime show sucked. Okay,
Yeah, that was terrible.
it was fucking horrendous. And here's my reasoning. Okay, and I said this on Facebook last night, and I said this on to people who were in the room. Kendrick Lamar does not have that type of music that is like party music. Because to me, the halftime show performer should have party music that gets the people dancing in the stands. That's to me my idea of a Super Bowl halftime performer. Don't get me wrong. I like Kendrick Lamar. I think he makes great music. But for that environment, he was the wrong choice. You know who would have been a better choice? Fucking Lil Wayne. Hello? The guy's from New Orleans. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. And let me say something to you fucking race baiters out there, because that's all I saw today. Everything now is just tinged in race. Oh, if you didn't like Kendrick Lamar performance, you're a racist. Oh, if you don't like Kendrick Lamar's performance, you're a Trump supporter. This, that, and the other thing. Let me tell you guys something. Yeah, I'm serious. This is what the shit that I saw today. Let me tell people who were saying that. I saw uh uh what's the word I'm looking for? Across the board last night. White, black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. A lot of people did not like that fucking halftime performance, and it had nothing to do with the fact that everybody in that show was fucking black. It had nothing to do with that. It was the fact that it was just a poor performance as far as Super Bowl stuff is concerned and having some kind of like, I don't know, a party atmosphere. How come 2 years ago when it was Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, everybody loved that shit because of the type of music that was being played? Or when The Weeknd did it, or when Prince did it, or when Rihanna did it. They're black. Who was complaining then? Like, come on, guys. I'm sick. I'm sick. I hate what we become, man. Seriously. Because everything is like fucking tinged It's everything is tinged in fucking racism, and it's bullshit. You can't have an opinion one way or the other. If something is bad, it can be bad because it was bad. That's it, sir.
No,
Your
continue,
opinion.
sir. I'm gonna sit back right now in my brand new chair, which is great for my back. I'm continue, sir.
I'm
Please.
done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just sick of
Why?
the.
I was so entertained.
I'm sick of the fucking. I'm sick of the
You're
race
robbing the
baiting.
audience of a great show. Please
No,
continue.
I said what I have to say. And the thing is, see, now I'm gonna keep going. The thing is too is what I see. It's fucking. I don't really care what I'm gonna say right now. It's always these white people that gotta put out these things and these posts and stuff because you speak for everybody and you speak for every race that's out there. What are we doing here? This shit
Everything.
is ridiculous, dude. This shit was not like this when we were growing up. It was never like this growing up. Never. Fast forward 20, 30 years later, and everything is fucking race this, race that, the other thing. You can't criticize everything without being called something. Come on, man. So fucking tired of it. I lost my shit. It was like a half an hour before we jumped on, and I'm reading all this bullshit. Like, stop. Just stop. Enough. Something can be bad because it's bad. Okay, I'm done. Anyway,
I'll say something real quick, but I'll take it from a different aspect. The halftime
sure.
show sucked. That doesn't take it. That doesn't take from that.
Yes.
I probably could tell you if I heard it. Like if you told me, this is a Kendrick Lamar song, I'll be like, okay, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Meaning that I'm not familiar with him like that. Um,
Right.
um, you want to call me old? I don't listen to this. I don't listen to that. Call me old. I don't really care. I'm proud of my age. A lot of this stuff I listen. I get information from my kids. They listen. They listen. They know this stuff. So if I have a question,
Sure.
I'll ask them. But besides that, a lot of the music today, period, in general, I don't really listen to. But I could give you my opinion and just say that halftime show sucked. They're not mutually exclusive.
Right. Yeah. I think
So
from
I
a
don't think I'm coming
performance,
from a
yeah.
racist aspect. I just don't think the show is good. I'm not really, and I'm not, and at the same time, I'm not familiar with his work. But I could sit there and say, "Oh, I don't like the show, but oh, I'm hype. This guy
Yeah,
got me hype. Who
exactly.
is this guy?
Right.
Ah, blah blah
Yeah,
blah 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 blah."
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is terrible.
That's
Just
it.
like
Yeah.
what who did it? Who did it last year? Was it Usher?
Yeah, it was Usher. Usher's great.
I
I
love
forgot
Usher,
about
but
Usher.
I like Usher, but I want to be fair here. I didn't like last year's halftime show either, but his music gets you to what you were saying.
Right. Yes. Yes. Exactly. I forgot about
So I
Usher. Yeah.
understand where you're coming from. So, but that I s- like I said, I still didn't like last year's show, and I'm very familiar with Usher, and I like Usher a lot.
Yeah.
That's my point. The show sucked. That the halftime show sucked. The game sucked. The halftime show, everything sucked. The commercial sucked. Everything sucked. That stupid. The one commercial I can't get out of my head is that stupid Seal commercial.
Oh my God, bro.
You
That
couldn't
shit
think of
was
anything.
awful.
Seal has been around for years, and this is the first time I've seen a commercial with him being a seal. You get what I'm saying? It
Yes, I
took you
do.
guys this long to figure out, oh shit, his name's Seal. Let's make a commercial that pokes fun at his name. What? I cannot get this commercial out of my head because all I can see is him as a seal, and it looked
Yeah.
very creepy and terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it was a Mountain Dew commercial, I'm not surprised because they always make weird shit. But come on.
God, man, everything sucked yesterday.
Yeah, it just. I mean, we're gonna get into it, but the only thing that was good about yesterday was the
The
sandwiches that
end?
my mother
Oh, I thought you
orders.
said the
Well,
end
no,
when the game ended. That and Peter Pan Donuts. Shout out Peter Pan Donuts.
bro. Listen, guys. I'm gonna give you guys a pro tip right now for people who are listening in, and some people are aware of this place. People like I think Larry's been there. Eric is probably familiar with it as well. Uh, there's a donut shop in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, called Peter Pan Donuts. This place has been there for God knows how. It's older than Lee J and I.
It's been in
Okay,
movies.
yeah, it's been in movies. If you watch the last Spider-Man, the third one, where what the hell's her name? What's the character's name?
Um.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Anyway, let's move on.
It's wait,
I
she
can't
is Mary
remember.
Jane. She is Mary Jane, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Zendaya.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Zendaya, whatever her name
Yeah.
is.
Can't. Yeah. But
Sh
they're dating. Whatever. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they're dating, and he goes to visit her in a donut. That's the donut shop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one right there. Anyway, so shout out to Hina, a good family friend who
Oh
brought
yeah. She always
over
brings those.
2 dozen donuts. Man, those, as much as I love the vegan donuts in Beacon,
Yeah. We
nothing beats a Peter Pan donut at all.
Peter Pan
Just
takes a shit all over those donuts.
yeah, nothing beats an actual fucking donut with like real, well,
Crap in
milk
it.
ingredients and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, nothing. I had 2 of them a day after having the 2 donuts that we had at the Beacon place on Saturday. So, yeah, Peter Pan donuts, Greenpoint, Brooklyn, in New York City. Highly recommend you go out of your way to go to that fucking shop because that place is awesome. Don't go on a Saturday or Sunday because you'll be waiting for a while outside There's always a line there. Now, anyway, this is a weekly sports podcast, and we come at you each and every week on the podcast platform of your choice. Don't forget that we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Amazon, and we're also on YouTube. Couple of more subscribers this week, so thank you for that. Please keep subscribing. And you know what's funny? There was some kind of survey. I'm trying to look at, like, I've got this more time on my hands, so I'm trying to look at like things to do to promote the podcast. And apparently, a lot of people listen to their podcast on YouTube, which is very interesting to me. So we're on there in case you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube. You're not really, I guess, watching it if it's on your phone or whatever. But yeah, we are on there. We're going to be recording again next Monday. Is that correct? We're still doing that next Monday? Is
Yeah.
that still
Next
the
Monday.
plan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be back to you next Tuesday. And don't forget that we are on all the social medias with Instagram and Threads and X as well. I didn't tweet as much as I wanted to yesterday, but anyway. All right, we should jump into it because there's a lot going on in this episode. A lot of football too, believe it or not. Only because there's Giant stuff, there's Jet stuff, and we'll get into that. But first, obviously, we know by now that the Eagles won Super Bowl 59, 40-22. And God, honestly, it wasn't even that close. There was a lot of garbage time shit that happened towards the end to make it a closer game than it was. Jalen Hurts wins the MVP as the Eagles win their second Super Bowl in franchise history. And my goodness, what the fuck happened here? Sir, what do you have to say to start us off here?
I don't even know where I want to say something, and I just well, I'll come to that a little later. I really want
Yeah,
to start with
sure.
that, but I'll go back to that a little later.
Oh boy.
Uh, my little irate thing could just keep. You know what? We're gonna do it right now, real quick,
Yeah,
because these people
sure.
just keep
Yeah.
on proving me right. The idiot fans of Philadelphia.
Oh boy, here we go.
Everything on these guys have taken over social media,
Yeah, it's
but with
bad.
stupidity.
Yeah, it's
You
really
know, there
bad.
was a tragedy there. You know, this young man, I don't remember his name, 18 years old, seemed like he had a lot going for him after
Yeah,
they won the
Temple
NFC
University. Yep.
after they won the NFC championship game, right?
Yep.
Doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, let's be fair. But you know what? An accident happened. He wound up passing away. You'd think that these people would fucking learn, man. Climbing poles, jumping on top of each other, fireworks getting let off. If they lose control of it, they're hitting everybody. Now they're on fire. A lot of you mothers and fathers made bad decisions. You fathers, you should have sprayed that shit on the wall, out the window, down the
Jesus
toilet,
Christ.
and we wouldn't have this problem. Population would probably be like 2 or whatever, and we'd be fine. Because a lot of these you people are really stupid. There's got to be something in those cheesesteaks. Because you guys are really stupid. I really
It's
feel
bad,
bad for
bro.
you. I really feel
Yeah.
bad for you.
Well, and the other thing too is that I get I can understand the gathering and the celebrating.
Of course, because I'm gonna probably get a little crazy. Crazy? One of my teams win, but we
Right.
talking that never in my wildest dreams would I say, "Oh man, I'm really drunk. I think I'm Spider Man. Let me climb. Let me climb the side of this building. Let me climb this light pole." No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I know what I'm gonna do and what I'm not gonna do.
Well, I think the other problem is that I don't know if you saw some of the videos in the post and the aftermath of it. It's just the destruction
That
that you see.
too, like destroying of people's property, and then if somebody comes out and does something like, and now it's everybody else's fault. Let's sue the city. Let's sue their parents. Let's sue whoever. Oh my god, man! I just it's mind boggling how stupid a city could be, and this is the majority of the people because I came across them with my own experience.
Right. Yes. Yes. We
God,
both did.
man. You guys just wake up in the morning and say, you know what? I'm gonna eat a bunch of stupid donuts. I'm just gonna eat them a bunch of slow donuts, and I'm just gonna do a lot of stupid things today before I go back to bed tonight. Golly. Anyway, that game was atrocious.
Mm, it was. It
I'll tell
really
you,
was.
I think I knew I kind of my big this is where I tell you where I thought like the game was really over.
Yeah.
So it was 17-0, and I think it was what about 2 minutes left, maybe under 2 minutes left. Kansas City got the ball back.
You're talking about going to
That was
the
after the defensive interception. They returned it for a touchdown. They went up 17-zip. Philadelphia. This is right before the half.
yes.
Kansas City got the ball. I said if they could come away with some points here, then they get the ball after the half, we got a game. We could possibly have a game. And guess what happens? He throws an interception. He throws another
Well,
interception, and then Jalen Hurts throws a touchdown to AJ Brown, 24
yes.
0 at halftime.
Just to get the sequence after the interception, Casey got the ball back. They punted. Only 5 plays. Eagles got the ball. 9 plays. They punted. And then when the Chiefs got the ball back, is when the interception happened.
That was all under the 2 minute warning.
Yeah, that was all. Yeah, a lot happened in
That
those
sounds like a
last few minutes.
no, not the last. I'm just talking about the last 2 minutes. I think it was right, just like the last two
Well,
minutes.
after
Essentially,
yeah,
when they got the ball back with 2 minutes left, Kansas City.
yeah. I mean, they only took 3 plays to get that score. They had the ball with a minute 45 left.
Yeah,
That was
something
when
like
they
that.
started that drive.
That's what I'm talking about right there. And then
Yeah,
they wound up going up 24-0.
yeah. That was put them up
Whether they got the
24-0.
ball back or not, that's irrelevant to me because I knew they weren't going to do anything
Well,
after
yeah,
that.
they got the ball
Yeah,
back.
I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about
Well,
once they went up 24-zip, it was a wrap.
no, yeah, it was. It was. But
That's to me in my mind where I thought the game was over.
the Chiefs got the ball back after that touchdown, and they only went. They had
Because
they had the ball
they didn't score until the third quarter. They went into halftime shutout.
right, but they actually had a chance to score at the end of the half
Yeah,
because
I
they got the
wasn't.
ball. They got the ball back with a minute 35, even
Yeah,
after the quick score.
I wasn't
Yeah,
even concerned that they were going to score again. That my biggest thing was the one before that. They should have scored before that. No matter what the points was, 3-7, whatever points, get something. They didn't do that, and I wasn't even at that point. I was like, all right, halftime, 24-0, we'll do whatever.
well, I mean, I see even them being down 24-0. I wasn't ready to completely write them off because we've seen them come back in the past. And here's the kind of the biggest thing that was the problem I thought coming because they never made any adjustments coming out of halftime. It was the same shit kind
it
of
just
over and over again.
it looked different. It just looked different. Mahomes looked different. Everything felt different.
It did from the beginning.
I was never confident that they were going to make a comeback, no matter what the score was. I was never confident. Once they scored, like I said, once they went up 24-0 and went into the half 24-0, Casey, I don't know, something was crazy yesterday. I didn't expect that. And yeah, that was just, I don't even think they expected that.
No, I don't think anybody expected it. I mean, honestly,
So that was that. They got the doors blown off, and that was it.
when they because I'm looking at the stats right now, they got Mahomes got sacked 6 times. The crazy thing about that, because when you're watching the game in a moment, I don't think you realize certain things that are happening and not happening because you think, oh, they must have blitzed him. No,
They only blitzed once,
but
apparently.
in that first half, they didn't blitz him at all. I don't think
Apparently,
with
Boomer said
the
they only blitzed. It looked like blitzes, but I was listening this morning. He said they only blitzed once the
right,
whole
yeah,
game.
yeah. So it's just like that Kansas City Chiefs offensive line is so porous that you can send 4 guys and that's all you needed basically to make a difference. And man, Mahomes just looked lost the whole time. The thing was, I think my feeling was sitting there is like this can't be like this is weird. Like what the fuck is happening here? And you would think I kept on again. We've seen this before. They get down. Somehow Mahomes pulls a fucking rabbit out of his ass, and the Chiefs go on to win. And the funny thing was, one of the things that we said that they had to do was stop Saquon Barkley, and they did that, and it didn't matter. And it wasn't like Hurts had a great game, you
Yeah.
know. He did like what did he finish with? Only 221 yards on 7 of 22 passing, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. It wasn't like he had like this fucking out of this world performance, but the fact that the Eagles just beat the shit out of Mahomes almost every single play, they could never get anything going. So
I said too, as if they're gonna stop because they're gonna concentrate on him, just throw the ball down the field. And he did that a few times yesterday. Throw the ball down the field, see what happens.
yeah,
Because their main focus was to stop Barkley yesterday, which they actually did. But on a couple of times, there was a couple of people wide open for like that one to Devontae Smith was like a 46-yarder.
yeah, yep.
The one that was that bullshit pass interference on AJ Brown down the sideline. That was another big play, but they got called
Oh
back because of the play
yeah,
that was at the beginning of the game.
yeah, that was ridiculous.
So I guess the referees did listen to the fans and say, you know what, you're cheating, so let's stop cheating.
Stop it.
You people are ding dongs. It's not everybody's happy now. It's not a thing. It's
Right.
not a thing.
Yes.
That's not
Yeah.
a thing.
Now it's not a thing because the Eagles won.
It's not, and
Now
that
it's
was a
something
smackdown,
not a
so it's
thing.
not a thing. Okay, let's stop it. It's over. Stop this shit. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, that was I texted you at about halftime and I'm like, this game has gotten fucking boring. Like what is happening here? Here and I kept on thinking we're not gonna really have a big segment with this game because nothing happened. When you jump out to the lead that they jump out to and the Chiefs basically shit the bed the whole game, but what is there to talk about? There really isn't anything. Listen, guys, Kenny Pickett got into the fucking game and threw a pass. That's how things were going in this game for the Eagles. Everything was going right in that respect. So
The
yeah,
best
it's
part of yesterday, the best part of yesterday was Tom Brady flashing his watch
oh,
to
I'm
all-
sick of that guy.
to all us peasants, and my man was trolling big time, and I love every minute of it.
He was trolling. He
he,
was
was,
trolling.
he was like, "There's no lead, insurmountable. They still have a whole half to make a comeback." I'm like, "This guy's a troll. I know
But
exactly
he's
what you're
right
doing."
though.
No,
He
yeah,
was right
yeah,
though.
based on his experience. No one else exists. It's not like he was talking about another game that had something to do with somebody else. He was talking about the 28-3 game against Atlanta. That's why. If he was talking about somebody else and it happened to somebody else, I would say, all right, cool. He wasn't. And everything inside him was like, you ain't coming back. You ain't the GOAT, you shithead. It's okay to be LeBron. Because guess what? Michael Jordan's still walking the earth, baby.
Oh my god!
I
Stop.
loved every bit of that shit. Oh, yeah. Kiss
It's
the
funny because
7 rings, baby.
I wasn't really like. It's funny because I did tune him out. Plus, when you have a million people sitting around you and everybody's commenting, you're not really listening to the commentary all that often. So I missed a lot of the stuff that he said. Thankfully, he's awful. He's fucking awful. He's got to be one of the worst. I don't know if he's. I'll give you. I'll give credit where credit's due. Romo was definitely a better commentator than Tom Brady. I'm Greg Olson, I would be so fucking even more pissed off that this guy took your spot. But you know, what are you gonna do? Sir, here's my question: Can the Chiefs be back in this similar position next year?
No,
Really?
I don't think so.
What makes you say that?
Everything is about what you see and what you watch. Now everybody's just going to try to watch and see what the Philadelphia Eagles did. I'm
Mm,
also saying to myself, is the AFC as good as people think it is? I don't know. They looked terrible yesterday, and they didn't look like this against any AFC team. They look. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything like that from a quarterback who we think he is.
yeah.
You want to say like whoever's in there for the first time, let's say whoever it is, whatever. But look how we talk about this guy. Look what we see from this guy. Any sport, pick a sport, any superstar, and they look like that. Looks a little different. You
Yeah.
expect that from other people if that was somebody else in a position. In their first moment in time, bright lights, too much for them. We get it. He's been there so many bro, he looked terrible yesterday. And everyone doesn't know Rob, shout out Rob, but he looked like Rob yesterday trying to throw the football. When Richie listens, he'll be laughing at this part because he knows. And Jonathan. he
my
looked
only
he looked terrible.
Yeah. My only I guess it's not really a pushback, but I guess my only thing about maybe the AFC not being as good as maybe we thought. The Eagles kicked ass the last 2 games of the season. I mean, we saw them destroy the Commanders in the NFC Championship game, and they came right out and did the same thing.
There's a
And some
perfect
people,
example. Commanders, you just said it. I was trying to look for a name. Jaden Daniels had a great year, but up until that moment, the NFC Championship, it was too much for him. But I could understand that because he's a rookie.
right?
So we don't look at it the same as if it's for Mahomes. He shouldn't look like that. Jaden Daniels didn't even look like that. I don't know. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. Maybe there's an example out there I've never seen, meaning his caliber, who he is, meaning
Hmm.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
Never seen that before.
yeah. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if anybody comes to mind, but
Multiple
that happened.
championship, multiple MVPs, and it's the first time like he's ever seen some kind of defense. Like it was a brand new whatever Vic Fangio was throwing at him. He's never seen it before. That
Well,
goes
it
to
wasn't.
Andy Reid too because he couldn't figure out. He calls the offense.
Well, that's what I mean. It wasn't like they were calling anything like fancy because they weren't.
His first best throw was to Juju Smith-Schuster. That one, that was like the very first throw that he threw at the beginning of the game, and then the one in the third quarter downfield to Worthy.
Hmm.
A bunch of the passes to Travis Kelce were behind him at his feet. He was off. He was
Yeah,
off from the beginning.
yeah.
I don't know. It looks strange to me. It looked weird. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. It just I don't know. Maybe this is something that happens. Just because we never seen it before doesn't mean it's not going to happen
That's
again.
yeah, yeah. It could be one of those things where you know it finally caught up to him, quote unquote. You're gonna have a real fucking stinker. Like it's gonna happen.
He just
Maybe it's
picked the
just
wrong game to have
yeah,
the stinker.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh my god, Eagles now they're favored already. I know it's stupid,
As they
but
should be.
they're already favored for next year for Super Bowl 60, which is happening in San Francisco. Well, not really San Francisco, but at that stadium. They don't play in San Francisco anymore. I mean, you think that's fair for them to
Sure.
be the favorites or favored already?
This look at the team. They're young. They don't have to worry about signing people right now. They're a bunch of people on rookie contracts. Jalen Hurts got his money. I think Brown, the people that they want is under contract. A bunch of rookies they signed it the last couple years up until this year. that team's going to be together for unless when a lot of if they guys become disgruntled or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's say everything off the table the way it is right now, that team's going to be together for another 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years, just the way it is. That's going to be a hard nut to crack.
Man, if you're the fucking Giants right now, you got to be like, holy
You got a you
shit.
got a you got a you got a tall hill to climb.
Yeah, because you have the Eagles, obviously. You've got the Commanders, who did stuff this season that nobody was expecting. And the Cowboys, granted, they didn't play terrible when Prescott went down, but they're going to have something to prove this coming season. Ugh, that division.
And they s-
Oh
and they still get to
God.
draft just like everyone else.
Who, you mean the Eagles?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're going to get more
yeah.
players. They get to sign more players, whoever they need be. If they keep it
Mm.
intact, nobody's disgruntled, everything works out, that team could be together for a long time. And they could just be rolling out NFC East titles, NFC championships, and maybe a couple more Super Bowls. So guess what? Their fans get to eat more horse shit. Ding dongs.
Maybe they'll burn the city down next time.
Oh
Who
my
knows?
God. I can't pray so hard.
All right. Anything else to say about Super Bowl 59?
No.
Okay.
Bore fest.
Let's move on to something more controversial. So Thursday night, what is it? Thursday night, right? Thursday night was the NFL honors, and we'll get into some of the MVP stuff a little bit later on. But I wasn't aware that they announced the Hall of Fame class for the year, for 2025. This happens at this NFL award, honor show, and Eli Manning, despite being one of 15 semifinalists for the Football Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, did not get in his first time on the ballot. Now, a couple of things here. One, this is the smallest Hall of Fame class in 20 years with only 4 players. I did some research on Thursday night as this catastrophe happened in real time. Where the hell was I? I was someplace drinking somewhere, I think. So apparently the the panel, there's like a panel that let me backtrack. Every NFL city gets one representative on this panel. And New York gets two, obviously, because the Giants and the Jets. We have 2 teams here. So, well, actually, technically 3, if you think about New York State with Buffalo. Anyway, the panel was allowed to pick minimum of 4, a maximum of 8. Apparently, Eli was nowhere close to making it in on the first ballot. Before we get into that, who got in? Cornerback Eric Allen in his 19th and final year of eligibility. Think about that for a second. Defensive lineman Jared Allen, tight end Antonio Gates, and wide receiver Sterling Sharp. I have some stuff here to read from Gary Myers because he actually voted for Eli. But, sir, my question to you is, how could this be? What the fuck happened here?
This shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but it does.
It bothers you. I know it does.
And I'm not a Giants fan. Everyone knows that. I fucking hate the Giants. But this bothers me. And I'm trying to figure out why. Maybe because who Eli was as a person. I don't fucking know. He was the Derek Jeter of football, but he did it the opposite way. He married, he had a couple kids, but he didn't make no noise. He wasn't a bad person, blah, blah, blah. I can't figure this out. But I tell you this. If I was a voter, sometimes when someone mentions says a name to you,
Mhm.
because we're doing the Hall of Fame, to me it should ring bells.
Yes.
Perfect example. Let's take Eli Manning off the table. The 4 people that were voted in: Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Sterling Sharp. I'm just gonna pick one of those people automatically so you could understand what I'm trying to say here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched this guy play. I actually watched all those guys play, but I want to pick this guy just to prove my point. What I'm trying to say here: Antonio Gates. When you tell me Antonio Gates, I knew in a 10-year period he was one of the best tight ends in football.
Exactly. Yes.
He scored touchdowns. He made catches. He made Drew Brees' life easier. Did he play with Drew Brees? I'm not 100% sure. Phillip Rivers,
I think for a
one
little,
of his
for a little
one of
bit.
his
Yeah.
biggest. That was like one of
Yeah.
his biggest targets during that time. He was one of the best tight ends. You could ask anybody that watches football from that time frame till now, if they have a bit any Titans brain in between their ears, they would agree with me. I don't know if I could say that for Eric Allen. Plus, not everybody saw him. If you would have voted for him at the time when it happened, up until let's say year 5, year 6, okay, fine. Then more people are gonna understand who that is. But 19 years, it's like you're doing that like just to pick him so you don't pick somebody else. Because I don't believe in coincidence. On your ninth, what made you decide now that was any different from year 16, 17, or 18?
Well, you brought up the good point. It's really, when you think about it, it's really 24 years because they're not eligible
Yeah,
for the
right. They're not
Hall of
eligible until
Fame
after 5 years until
5
after they
years.
retire.
So what happened between the time that he retired and 24 years later that this guy gets in? I don't understand. Anyway, continue.
I knew Jared Allen had a lot of sacks. You know what I remember about Jared Allen?
His face paint thing.
His celebration when he sacked
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
He did the
And he had
cow tie,
yeah.
the horse, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And Sterling Sharp, for a short career, he had a couple good numbers. He led the league a few times in different categories. So I kind of was always like, he's gonna probably get in eventually.
Yeah.
However he gets in, he'll probably get in.
Yeah.
But for Eli Manning not to listen, I get it, guys. He didn't have the best regular seasons, but he also didn't have the best teams. He won 2 Super Bowls against what many would consider the GOAT, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and I get it because I understand what everyone's saying when they want to say the defense won that first. Was it the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the defense didn't score.
Right.
He still had good games. He still took them on the drives they needed to go on to score and win the game. Like, I think it was, what Super Bowl was that? Was I don't remember the number. The Otis Anderson Super Bowl. Jeff Hostetler.
25.
If I'm not mistaken, Otis Anderson won the MVP.
He did.
You know
He did.
why? Because they fed him the ball and they fed him the ball. And I remember that. And they fed him the ball. His uniform was filthy. Otis Anderson, I love that guy. He was a workhorse. That's not what Eli did in any of these Super Bowls and hand the ball off and just hand the ball off and hand the ball. Then I could understand, all right, on this 20-play drive, they handed the ball off 18 times, and that's the reason they scored. That's a different argument. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. For this, and the only reason why I feel this way is because I think I believe this. I'm not sure, but I do believe players would like to get in on the first ballot. I think it means something
I think it does
to them.
Yeah.
Now we got a better class coming in next year.
Yep.
Does he get in next year? Is this like almost like a Mike Piazza situation? You start making up things, and then he winds up. Mike Piazza should have
That's a
been on the
good
first
point,
ballot.
yeah.
Come on, man. One of the best offensive catchers in Major League Baseball. And not to get on the first ballot because somebody saw acne on his back, so they associated that with steroids? Come on, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald and Drew Brees are on the ballot next year.
You know who's going to get in the first ballot and it's going to be a riot? Phillip Rivers. when he's time to be eligible.
Well, somebody was saying it would be poetic if him and Eli went in at the same time.
Who cares about poetry?
Let me read what Gary Meyer said This is from an ESPN article. This is what he said. Don't forget, Gary Myers, longtime writer for the Daily News, has been covering the NFL for probably longer than Lee and I have been alive. Here's what he says. In interest of full transparency, I voted for Eli Manning and spoke up for him at our meeting. I believe Manning beating the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl with 2-minute drives and being named Super Bowl MVP each time, along with currently being 11th all time in touchdown passes and yardage, presents a convincing resume. Let me continue. To get selected in the future, the voters must get past that Manning was never all pro or regular season MVP and realize he played when those spots were not so available, playing in an era with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees. Here's the kicker, I think. Eli's record was just 500, but Dan Fouts was only 2 games over 500, and Warren Moon was only 1 game over 500. But neither made it to the Super Bowl. In fact, Moon never made it to a conference championship game,
Nope.
and yet Fouts and Moon were each first ballot Hall of Famers. Somebody explain that to me.
There's no one that
Seriously.
could keep waiting because there's no one that can explain it to you.
I don't understand. Like, listen, I know you and I when we were start when this was the conversation, you and I went on and on and on and on, and we were both convinced that he would go in first ballot, no questions asked, mostly based on what he did in the Super Bowl. But it wasn't like he had like a shitty career from a statistical perspective.
To me, he was
11,
good. He was good enough. And then when the moments were the highest and the most brightest, he always came through.
and isn't that what counts at the end of the day? I think that's what I don't understand. It makes no it just I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. And listen, Eli's a stand-up guy. We all know that. And this is what he said that he was at peace. He had a feeling it wasn't going to be my night and I understand that. I'm totally at peace. It's not going to change my outlook of my career and how I feel about it. That's Eli being Eli. But when the decision came down on Thursday night, it was funny because the Giants had a tweet and it was the emoji with the raised eyebrow because I don't think anybody. I don't know. I think it was a shock. I don't think. I just think it's bullshit. I mean, it's the bottom line. I agree with what Myers is saying. You have to get past the fact that he wasn't like MVP or All Pro. There are guys that didn't make All Pro. I was looking at a list before. There were guys that did have a lot that did not have a lot of All Pro seasons that are in the Hall of Fame.
I also got to look at as I know at that time, he kind of mentioned it a little bit, or kind of was getting to that. I'm not sure. Like, who were the quarterbacks during that era, and what kind of seasons did they have? With all these fancy numbers and all these schmancy numbers, you couldn't win. And the biggest moments in time, he won. He won two. I don't know, man. This is weird that I feel this way about this. And then I'm thinking it's just because of who Eli
No,
Manning is,
I
because I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to me.
no, I mean, but I think you feel this way because you saw a lot of this stuff up front, just by being in New York. This it was in our face all the time, especially when those times that they went on those two tremendous playoff runs. It was there. It was there for us to see each and every week. And maybe listen, this is the issue with these committees or whatnot. These guys are not watching the game. Watch. This is what we say. Watch. Right. This is why we watch. These guys are not watching these games like a Gary Myers is. I don't know who the second sports writer is in New York that has the vote, but I don't know. It's just, and you brought up a good point too about Joe Namath. If I'm not mistaken,
Look
Eli
at
has
his
better
numbers.
numbers.
Look at his
Yeah,
numbers.
and Namath's in the Hall of Fame. And did he get it in the first time? I don't know.
I'm not even sure. I don't even think it matters, but I'm not even sure. It just it seems like they're making it seem like all this all pro shit that To me, at the end of it, and then how many Pro Bowls he makes. Who cares about the Pro Bowl? Who cares? That thing has been a joke since I was a kid. And maybe not even so much as a kid, because you know what? At least back in the days when I was a kid, they actually played the game.
Mhm. Yeah.
They actually played the game like it was a real fucking game. Now we got flag football and people doing the gritty. Who cares? Who cares? And granted, he's not playing today, so he's not part of that. I understand. But we're trying to say that his regular season was so bad. Not even 2 Super Bowl rings or 2 MVPs trumps that. That's not true. I don't believe that's true. Trust me. Ask me as a Jets fan, would I have had liked him as a quarterback? And that the same would have been the same result. Yes, please. Thank you.
By the way, Namath got in his third year, so he wasn't first ballot. I can see, like you said, what's going to happen next year. Now, I can see the same situation where it's going to take him probably 2 or 3. I think he gets in, but again, it's not going to be first ballot.
Somebody was arguing today about why Dan Marino was a first time. I think he was a first time. I think the argument was, why was he a first time ballot? And it was like, yeah, because his numbers were
ridiculous.
ridiculous. Yeah, but that goes to my point that I said originally. Look at the teams he had. Look at the players that surround. He wasn't surrounded by bums. He wasn't surrounded by bums. But guess what happened when the lights were the brightest for Mr. Dan Marino? Oh, excuse me, I just shat on myself with that same talent, right?
Yes.
So I feel like you're trying to live on both sides of the fence and saying, okay, eventually he'll get in, so that's good enough. It's not good enough, man. It's not cool. It's not cool. He should have been on the first ballot, and that's it. I'm going to die on that sword. You can argue whatever you want. I don't care. Best defense, da-da-da. Defense still didn't score. He still had to take them on 90-something yard drive. Remember that one?
Yep.
We talked about it the other day. It was like a 98-yard drive. That was Eli. He took them on the drives that mattered most to either tie the game or take the lead. Through a night, the first one, nice corner pass to Plaxico. I think it was the following year they started off 10-1, and then he shot himself. That's Eli's fault. And then the season went down the shitter. I thought you guys were going to win again. I was like, this cannot happen. They're going to go back to back. This can't happen.
I totally forgot about that.
But we forget about these things. So whose fault is that? That's his fault now? Come on, man. Stop it. You sound stupid.
By the way, you brought up a good point. Just Manning, Eli, obviously, had 27 career fourth quarter comebacks and 37 game-winning drives, which is good enough for 13th most in the entire history of the league.
13th in the history. Not just when he played, the history
of the league. That's insane.
And he's already been retired how many years?
5.
When did he retire?
Yeah, it's
5 years ago, right?
It's
5.
So what? Yeah.
So 2000 and let's say 2019.
I think
my point is that football has still been being played, and he's still 13th on the league, even with the quarterbacks that are still around.
Yeah, says a lot. Okay. Speaking of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, as we move on here, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, goodness.
Is not coming back to the New York Jets. Apparently, he met face-to-face with the Jets brass, and the Jets have decided to move on. And it's been interesting watching and listening to the reaction to this. Some people think it's a terrible idea. Some people love it. I know you're all about it. Fresh start,
no,
sir.
I'm good. I'm good with him not coming back.
The floor is yours. Well, the floor is yours. Why? So why?
You know why people wanted him back? Because they got duped by those last couple games that he played well in. Let's not forget, a couple of the games were in nice sunny Florida, where the weather was nice and his old bones didn't hurt. Because I know about that shit. It's cold. Your bones feel different when you're a certain age and it's cold outside. And he's playing football, so it's worse. If we're going to do this the way they want to do it and start all over, I just don't think his personality, because we all know he has a strong personality.
Yeah.
and he wants to do things his way, bring in the people he wants. And you're trying to bring in Aaron Glenn on his first time as a head coach, and we can see already he has a strong Type A personality. That's not going to work.
No, it's not going to mesh well at
It's not
all.
going to mesh well. There's going to be a lot of and if you're going to start over, and let's be fair, it's not really starting over because they still have pieces. I just think that dynamic of Rodgers and Aaron Glenn, I don't think that's going to work. And if you
It's like,
want Aaron Glenn to succeed, your best decision was to tell Aaron Rodgers he has to move on. Because how many more years were we going to get out of this? Or out of him?
yeah. But I thought you liked chaos.
No, this
Don't you like chaos?
this chaos. Not when it's. I don't like my own chaos. I like other
Oh,
people's
okay.
chaos.
I
That's why I
see.
watch reality television.
I see how that. Okay, got it.
Yes, you understand now.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
Not my own chaos. I like other people's chaos. That's why I watch reality television. Like I said before, a couple seconds ago. Yes.
So
So he has to move on.
I kind of want let's get into it a little bit now. I kind of want to save this for a couple of weeks, but maybe from a Jets perspective, and we'll get into maybe a ranking later or something. Because I do want to do something heading into the draft about the bridge quarterback. Because now both the Giants and the Jets need a bridge quarterback. And let me tell you something right now. I don't want to see fucking Aaron Rodgers in a Giants uniform.
All he has to go is downstairs to the tunnel
No, stop.
to the other
No,
locker
no,
room. It's a
no.
very short trip.
Stop. No. You know who put that thought in my head? Eric. Fuck you, Eric. Fuck you. I don't want to see that bastard in a Giants uniform. I don't. You know what? Because the situation there is already combustible as it is. Why would you add that firecracker to that environment? I don't know. I'm not
See,
about it.
now ask me if I like chaos and then ask me
Okay.
and
Shut
then
up.
ask me the answer to that question.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck you. Go to hell. But before you go to hell,
I'm already there, sir. We all are.
yeah. Well, yes.
let me go look out the window. Maybe the meteor is almost here.
What did they say? 2043.
Oh yeah, we got a while to go.
Jesus Christ. I guess because let's face it, this guy you like, that they drafted that's sitting on the sidelines that was hurt. What's his name?
Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis. He's not going to be ready, right?
They're saying that he's having setbacks and stuff like that. So let's just put everything to the side and get my other guy. Even number 7 pick, number 10 pick. Who cares?
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, baby. Let's go. Who cares what everybody else says? Just pick the guy that you fucking want and pick him at 7. Who gives a shit? Let's go.
Yeah, it's funny because I know how much you love the mock drafts. I don't see Jackson Dart anywhere.
He's nowhere near because everybody continues to listen to each other. And one person has this same opinion about him. That's why no one has their natural thoughts, their own thoughts when it comes to the draft. And that's proven my point right there.
I will say one thing about Jackson Dart, because if that man somehow drops to the second round and he's still there when the Giants, because I'm still not convinced the Giants are going to take a quarterback. I don't know. There's something I'm not convinced about it. If that man is still there in the second round and the Giants are picking, you fucking grab him and you hold on to him for dear life. But anyway, we keep on going around this. Let's see. Matthew Stafford might be available, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like Darno.
No, he shouldn't come back. He shouldn't come back here anyway.
You got Jameis Winston. You've got people like Kirk Cousins.
No.
Is there anybody out there right now? I know you like the backup for the Bears, but let's just say that's not an option.
And his name was mentioned the other day in another show, and I'm not gonna do this anymore to myself. I'm not doing this. All you motherfuckers that get paid a lot of money, you go fuck yourself. Tyson Bagent, and I'm not gonna mention these people, so I don't care.
Okay.
That was my opinion originally.
Let's see. Because I'm looking at this thing that Danny sent us because he likes to troll.
Justin Fields, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, Wentz. I mean, what do you think?
I wouldn't mind Stafford.
Yeah. You're gonna have to trade for him though.
That's fine. They could figure something out. I already spoke about Justin Fields. I thought that would be a good move for you guys, but as well, I also said that I would like that for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that would be the only two that I would consider doing some type of
Interesting.
bridge type of thing.
Yeah, I want to do a proper like ranking of like maybe top 5 guys.
Yeah, those are
Here's
like
but here's
one. Those are like 1, 2, and then everybody else starts at like 10. There's no
yeah
3 to 9.
yeah. I think well here's the other problem too is that the Jets, the Giants, the Raiders,
Yes, that's what I'm
maybe
saying. You got to go against
even the
everybody that's trying to get
Titans.
these players too. You're not the
And
only.
the
We're
thing
not the only ones.
here's my question too because now we can get into this a little bit too now because apparently the Titans are shopping around the first pick. Do the Jets have the capital to trade for the number 1 pick?
You're gonna have to give up a hell of a lot for that. But you also have to be confident in that one of these guys are the answer.
That's the other thing too. And we already supposedly,
There's too many questions about these guys.
yeah, especially with Sanders because Daddy is, the puppet master there. So
There's too many
you don't know.
questions about these guys. I just let it play out and see what happens. I just want my man Jackson Dart, baby. In 10
You
years from
want
now, I
that
want to
guy.
say I was right, you fucks, because I like
I
being
mean,
right.
we might be dead in 10 years, but
Ah,
it's
shit.
fine. That's okay.
I'll leave on my tombstone, Jackson Dart. I know you don't know me, but I loved you, man. I advocated for you from day one.
I will say one thing before we move on this. I think it was apparent, and you kind of touched upon this with the whole Aaron Glenn thing. I think it was apparent from the words that that man was saying in the press conference and the stuff that came out afterwards that Aaron Rodgers was done in New York because I don't think I my gut feeling is that Aaron Glenn's going to kind of run training camp like college. I don't know what makes me think that. Just because of what he's saying, like I'm the fucking boss. You guys are going to do what I say because look at the shit show that's been created here over the years. That's not Aaron Rodgers
It's not. Plus, he's too
at
old for that.
all.
And he's already been through. That's like him starting over when he first came into the league. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to get on Aaron Glenn's bus because,
Do
like
you
Aaron Glenn said, you get on or you get the fuck off.
do you think he retires, or do you think he tries to play another year? Especially with what is he?
If the
How many
situation,
touch with the touchdown record? Like 500 touchdowns or whatever. He's close.
if the situation's right, and my brother sent me something here that there was a rumor about some teams, like 5 teams.
Oh, I can see it.
Hold
Raiders.
on, let me try to find it.
Can you imagine? Let me see if I can try to find something too. Can you imagine if he goes to a team like the Raiders?
So it's the Saints,
Mm,
Tennessee,
mhm.
49ers, Steelers, and the Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders. There you
And I
go.
actually agree. I actually agree with my brother. The only one that really makes sense to me is the Steelers because you got a grizzled
That would
veteran
be
coach there.
interesting.
The defense is good. They got somewhat of a running game. I think they're more put together and they have more of a chance there than any. Raiders are starting all over with Pete Carroll. Man, San Francisco, I don't see that. And then you got Debo Samuel getting I guess his wishes being met with now they're shopping him around.
Wait, who's this?
Debo Samuel, the wide
Oh, that's
receiver.
right. Yes, for the
Tennessee,
49ers, right.
really? I don't think so. I don't really have to explain myself there. And the Saints, they're about to hire apparently Kellen Moore, first time coach.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that. So the Steelers make sense, but I don't know. Maybe someone else, some other team pops up here and he says, you know what, I like that opportunity, but if it's not the right opportunity, he's not going to like say, for example, he's not going to go to Carolina just to continue to play
Yeah.
football. That doesn't make sense
Well,
to me.
I think this guy kind of solidified himself anyway in the second half of the year. So I think they're probably happy with
Uh, We knew it.
which
I
is
knew it. It wasn't
yeah,
going to work, and it wound up not working. And it's over, just like that.
yeah. It's I'll be curious to see where he goes because he's still a name. He's gonna sell tickets. All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, Josh Allen. Sorry, getting my Allens confused here because of what we just talked about. He won the MVP Thursday night somehow over Lamar Jackson. This is only the second time a second team All Pro player has won the MVP. Adrian Peterson, excuse me, was the first to do it back in 2012. Brother, statistically speaking, Jackson had the better all around stats. What the fuck is going on here? I just don't understand.
I call racism. They're
reverse
racist.
reverse DEI. Had to
Yes,
wipe
there
my
you
way.
go. There you go. Racism. And that's why you guys took that out of the end zone because you were trying to trick me. Meanwhile, you wanted to continue racism. Racism. Let's try to do this real quick, everyone. Again, ding dong, because that's what you guys are. Did you see Lamar Jackson's numbers last year when he won MVP?
No, but I'm gonna check now.
If I'm not mistaken, they're better than his numbers this year.
You
That's it.
serious?
You started laughing. Period. Stop. My
Let's
conversation's over.
let's look it up. No, we're gonna look it up now. Let's go. Let's go to
I'm
Pro
pretty sure his
Football.
numbers were better last year. I could be
Okay,
wrong. I don't
let's
know.
see. No, let's see. Okay, so in 2023, let's see, 2023, he threw for no, his numbers are better this year. Way better. But still, let's just go over it. 2023, he threw for 3,678 yards.
No, his numbers were better than his numbers last year. Josh Allen's numbers last year too.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
I said that wrong. Either way, it's the same kind of shit.
got it.
His numbers
His
were better
numbers
than
is
last year. His numbers crushed his numbers this year.
gotcha. So okay, I see what you're saying now.
So
I
yeah, I
see what
probably
you're
said that
saying.
wrong.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this is the year that Josh Allen won it, when Lamar Jackson's numbers are far superior than numbers when he beat you last year.
Well, to be fair, Allen had better passing numbers last year than Lamar Jackson. Allen finished with 4,306. Actually, Allen had better numbers last year.
So that makes it make less
So
sense.
Allen should have won last year.
That
Allen
makes
should
it
have won
make less
last year.
sense. That makes it make less sense. We got to the final finish line. It makes it make less sense.
Yeah, I'm just comparing the numbers now. So just quickly, career so total yards in 2023, passing yards. Jackson had 3678. Josh Allen had 4306. Josh Allen had 29 touchdown passes. Lamar Jackson had 24 touchdown passes. Interceptions. Jackson had 7 and Allen had 18. So interceptions has got him beat. Completion percentage. Allen was at 66.5 and Jackson was at 67.2. I think overall, Allen probably had the better numbers. So it's weird.
I wanted to see what you were looking at. I'm trying to see why the fucking
It's
23 doesn't-
profootballreference.com.
There we go.
Yes.
Why does this shit come up first? This is stupid. Oh, here we go. I just wanted to see what you were looking at.
Yeah. So yeah, it's but if you look at like this year, forget about last year. This year, It's not even really fucking close. Jackson had 41 touchdown passes. Allen had 28. Completion percentage 66.7 for Jackson. For Allen, 63.6. Allen only had 6 interceptions. Actually, Jackson had two less, 4.
What about the rushing yards? She probably crushed them there too. I think he probably had
Rushing
almost 1,000 rushing
yards.
yards.
Let me see.
Jackson probably
Yes,
had almost 1,000.
he had. Where the hell is it? I'm not seeing his rushing yards here. They only have passing. That's weird. Anyway, oh, here we go. Rushing. He had 915 yards rushing compared to Allen's.
5 something, 4 something.
He had. Sorry, I got to scroll down here. Yeah, 531. So,
But he won the but he won it last year, not this year. I
doesn't
also,
make
you know
any
what I also heard
sense.
someone say? Someone said that sometimes, and this is not a thing, and I don't know why people continue to say this. Well, I wrote it down here somewhere. Oh, because Lamar Jackson always wins. So it's almost like just give it to somebody. That's not
No,
a. That's not.
no.
You've heard this thing. You've heard
I've
this
heard that
before.
before. Yes,
That's not a
yes.
thing. If he
That's
deserves to
stupid.
win it every year, he deserves to win it every year.
That's so
Let's
stupid.
not pick some. Let's not pick another player to be MVP because you know what, he's won 8 in a row and it's time for a change. That's not a thing.
This is not elementary school, guys. Please stop that. That's so stupid.
It's stupid. It's not a reason. It's not a reason. Oh my god.
The best players should win every year, hands down. The
And
guy with the better stats should
by
win.
far, Lamar Jackson's year this year was better than Josh Allen's year last year comparable, and Josh Allen should have won last year, but he won this year. That's the
Yeah,
part that doesn't make sense to me. Meanwhile, he had better numbers than Jackson last year. You know, a couple things here and there, but he didn't win last year. But let's pick this year, where it really doesn't make fucking sense.
yeah, yeah. It's stupid.
That's why all this is stupid. This, the Hall of Fame voting, it's all stupid. It's all stupid.
Yeah, maybe they need to replace the writers. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway,
Oh, they were also saying that one more thing real quick because this goes into
yeah.
something else I wanted to say real quick. Oh, a lot of the reason why Lamar Jackson was able to do what he did was because of Derrick Henry.
Oh God. But he didn't have Derrick Henry last year or whatever. The
Let
first
me
couple of
let
times he
me
won
let me
it.
just say something real quick about that
It's so fucking
because we're gonna name this episode the Ding Dong episode because I keep saying that phrase. Listen, guys, you need players to win. That's not a reason. You what do we always hear when the Giants say or the Jets say, oh, they have no offensive line. They don't have this, they don't have that. But when you do get it, when you're any other team, that's what helped you put up the numbers you put up. You need players to win. You
Yeah,
need players to win. And Baltimore did their best they could to get the best players on his team to help him win. That's not a reason. It's not a reason.
that's stupid.
It's stupid. Christ. Like Josh Allen was playing with a bunch of you and me on his team.
Right. Yeah.
Come on, bro. You need good players to win. That's it. It's not a fucking excuse. It's stupid. And we move on.
Let's move on to the halftime topic. I alluded to it before because been unemployed now for my second. Sir, are you okay there? I'm going into my full week of this. I was thinking earlier about how I want to do this because I told you when we talked about this over the weekend. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, right? About what happened at my job. Let's just say it wasn't a good fit all around, and the culture sucked. That's it. That's the bottom line. I don't need to name names or whatever. But I will say this because I've learned some things through this experience, and I mentioned this to you on Friday when we met. Number one being, I don't care if you're going for a job at the local Walmart, Target, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, 5 and 10. Those don't exist anymore, but you get what I mean. Dollar store. You should know what you're walking into. Do your research. Figure out that's the place you want to be. If you're gonna like it or not. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, take care of your mental health because that is important. If you feel like things are not in a good situation when it comes to your mental health and your job is making you feel a certain way, I think it's okay to walk away. Now, I didn't do that. I stuck it out. I'm not a quitter, but I think at some point it probably would have gotten to that where I would have uh, walked away. And I think number three now is just for me, it's just kind of being aware of taking a step back and trying to enjoy this time of being off and like reflecting that, because I will say one thing, and we talked about this too a little bit, and it kind of relates to your situation, even though you've got a new job, but other things have happened. Um, oh my god, I think I lost my train of thought there. Oh, just about you know shit happens, and when things are like toxic, you just gotta, I don't know, just kind of deal with it, kind of move on. It's a tough situation, I think, in some ways. But yeah, the past week and a half has not been. It's been okay, but anyway. So I know you've had some things to say about you
Yeah, I'm
know
not gonna throw too many people under the bus either.
your situation.
You people know who the hell you are, Uh, and I couldn't care less about you. I'm just gonna make a general statement about like this kind of stuff and I guess what I feel like leads to stuff like this happening within different workplaces wherever you are.
Sure,
Number one, you as yourself, whoever you are as a person, me, you, anyone else, this is in general, just me speaking. I've come to learn you have to know your self worth and
it's
what
true.
you bring to a department, what you bring to a company, and don't be afraid to voice that. You know what you are, you know what you do. At the end of the day, if it's a numbers game basis, numbers don't lie. If you're in the real estate business and in 1 year you sold 100 houses, I'm not in real estate, but I would assume that's good. That's something you could bring to a table. You got to be confident that you know what. Listen, Joe Schmo's been here 10 years. In 10 years, he hasn't even sold 100 houses. I sold 100 houses in a year. What's good? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
These things matter. I've learned that. I've learned that, and I'm gonna continue. Like if I let's say go to another interview in the future, whatever, because a lot of these interviews are like people already have like a question based system for you. They answer these 10 basic questions or 20. That doesn't define who I am as a worker.
Yeah.
Take those questions and shove them up your ass. I don't care. That doesn't tell you who I am, and I know what I can do. And a lot of these companies too, like, what do you do to motivate your employees to do more? It's not give them more work and not pay. What's the incentive? What are you doing to make them feel good about where they are, even though you can't give them a raise? Are you checking in on them on their mental health, as you mentioned before? How you doing? Yo, listen, I'm a little busy today, but if you need me, I'm here for you. Just let me know. Some simple stuff that makes somebody feel good about themselves if they're having a down day. But everybody's on attack mode. Everybody want to make more money than the next man, and everybody want to do this and do, and it becomes cutthroat. It becomes toxic, and no one wants to work there. People become petty. People in high positions, if you're petty, you need to get lost. Because if you're in a position of power and you're petty, something's wrong with you.
That's bad.
It's
Yeah.
bad. And I've come across that a lot. That's bad. Because if you're confident in who you are as a manager, a supervisor, whoever you are, you shouldn't feel threatened by the next man coming in or the next woman coming in. But you, as a manager and a supervisor, should be empower the people you have in the apartment, uplift them. You want to see them get promoted. You know why? That makes you look good. Look who's everybody getting promoted. Everyone here, they're getting manager's position. They're doing this. That's me. That's a reflection on you. Instead of trying to suppress them because you're threatened by them. This goes on throughout the country, jobs, everywhere. I'm telling you from a fact. You have to learn how to speak up for yourself. No one knows how much you're worth besides yourself. That's all I got to say. And you guys go fuck yourself.
I will say one thing about kind of the micromanaging bullshit. And I'm gonna give the example because I think, I'm not gonna whatever. Things have happened. Listen, guys, when I don't know if I'm gonna get myself in trouble with this.
Don't say it if you're thinking about it. Don't say it. That's my advice to you.
No, no, no. It's I think when I will just say one thing. If I would have known about some of the stuff that I learned after the fact that I was let go, I would have never went to this taken this job. And
And
I'm gonna
unfortunately, that's a lot. That's a like. You probably could ask that to a lot of people. If you knew what you knew going in, would you
yeah,
have taken the job? And
yeah,
that's the part
yeah,
that stinks because you know what? Companies are not always going to be upfront.
yeah. Oh no, they aren't,
And they definitely don't all work cohesively. Of course not. They're different
Yeah,
companies. They do different things. But I'll say this: if you have something that you, if if you're a company that does a certain criteria, one particular thing, and you know it's really not normal, you should bring that to your new hires table. Listen, we do things a little unorthodox here.
yeah,
We know this isn't of the norm, but we're going to show you that this is why we do this and this is what we do. All right, you may not agree, you may sound stupid, but you at least you know going in, eh, that sounds stupid and that sounds like a micromanaging thing. I'm not interested. Or you know what? I'll try my best. I'm in.
yeah,
Just one little thing could set you a red flag off to whether you're going to take the job or not take the job.
yeah. And I think, and I will say that, and this is not, I don't think I'm spilling secrets, but listen, we talked about this on Friday. My emails they had to be reviewed
I've never
before
heard of
sending
that
out an
before.
email. And you were like, "What?" Like my emails have to go through like an editing
I've
process.
come through chaos. I've never had to do that.
Yeah, you work for the fucking city. You know what I mean? Bureaucracy galore. And the fact that just wastes so much time in so many different ways and productivity. Not only is it wasting my time, but it's also wasting the person's time who's reading the email, right? Two people are wasting time in a situation. But this is the micromanaging shit that I'm talking about. And listen, I've unfortunately have experienced worse in past jobs, and this is going back to when I was a sports writer, where I think I brought this up a few, one time where the editor was over my shoulder reading as I typed.
Yeah, I can't work like that.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
But
you kidding me?
micromanagers to me, I really thought about this, and I don't like to be micromanaged because at the end of the day, why did you hire me? Because it's a trust issue.
Right, it is.
That's more of like of a you problem. Because you know what? That job's not the only place you have trust issues. In your real life, you have trust issues with
Mm,
your own family, your own children, if you have mother, father, whoever it may be. You have trust issues with everybody. It just doesn't. You just don't go to a job, have trust issues, and then you go home and you turn it off. No, this is who you are.
right. Yeah.
So it's up to us to either learn how to deal with it or maneuver around it, or say what, sayonara, and leave and find another job. That oh shit, you know what? I finally feel like I'm fucking respected. Thank you. Because sometimes I tell people they look at me like I'm crazy. Granted, money makes the world go round. We all know that. We're not stupid. But
Sure.
sometimes when you work hard, it's not always about a dollar being thrown at you.
Yeah. Like
You
a
know what
yen.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yes.
it's not always about that.
Right.
It's just showing, oh yo, good job. Appreciate it. Blah blah blah. Something small. and we all move on. But you can't even do that because you're so fucking petty. Gee, good riddance.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. That's what I keep on telling myself. I'm glad that honestly, I am glad that I'm not there anymore because I think I would have fucking lost my goddamn mind had I stayed there. I mean, that's just being honest. That's just being the honest truth. That's not throwing people under the bus or anything like that. That is the God's honest truth. I am better off not being there.
You
Now,
probably would have lost your hair.
oh, now, am I, is it crazy? Am I a little worried about money? Sure. But, I filed the unemployment benefits today and I expect those to go through. And, I got 7 months to figure it out. So maybe a little bit longer than that. So we shall, I'll keep people posted. So, and also, since I'm getting bored, you might want to follow me on Instagram because I'm going to start posting videos about just how bored I am and just kind of the day to day. I didn't post one today, but the Icon 20, in case you're interested in my shenanigans.
Who knows? In 7 months, he may have to move to Vegas because it's legal over there.
Piece of shit. Oh my god. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about Lee J's favorite topic.
Oh
It's
fuck!
finally over. It's all over. Pete Alonso is finally back with the Mets. Signs a 2-year, $54 million contract that contains an opt out after 2025. Sir, I know you said you had some kind of like comparison you want to get across here with this whole thing with
Hmm.
Alonso. So go ahead.
What's it relative to me?
The floor is yours. Sure. Yes.
The Pete Alonso side, Steve Cohen, David Stern side. This is
Let's hear
all
it.
relative to the streets.
Here we go.
And what do I mean by that? I'm not going to say Alonso was full of shit because I don't think he ever wanted to leave.
I agree with
He
that.
knew why he hired Boris. We all thought it was a mistake, but we knew why he hired him.
Hmm.
Okay. They finally found the team to kind of play against the Mets, which we all kept on hearing about was Toronto Blue Jays,
Hmm.
right? Cohen started with David Stern started with we're at that point where we're just going to have to move on because we having all these play. Here's where you're both full of shit. And I just mentioned it. Alonso tried to use Toronto against the Mets. And then the Mets try to give us, the fans, not so much Alonso, us, the fans, to tell us, well, he could kind of take a hike because we have a backup plan. You know that was bullshit.
Which
Because
they
let me tell you
did.
something.
Right.
Steve Cohen, you're a billionaire, my man. If you were really fed up, you would have told him, don't ever call me again. We're moving on. Go find your money somewhere else. He knew. He knew deep down inside that bullshit that David Stearns was trying to feed him, whether it be Beatty at third, Vientos at first, Mauricio at third, whatever combination you want to come up with, he knew it was bullshit. It was bullshit.
Yeah.
Because if he felt in his heart what they said was really, he stood behind it, Alonso wouldn't even be a Met. But they kept on coming back to the table because they knew they were close and they knew deep down inside none of those other players mattered, especially Beatty, because I'm tired of talking about this dude, especially him.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Trying to figure out to put him at third base, first base, second base. It was a matter of you guys sitting down and figure out the number. We got to stop being mad at Boris. It is what it is. That's who he hired. Boris's job is to get his clients the most money. As much as we hate it, that's his job. And Cohen has to find out a way to where he has to budget his money because you know what? At the end of the day, it is his money and he could do whatever he wants with it. And like I told you before, I didn't agree with Boris and Soto, so you try to use that against him. Yeah, I get that, but that's not mutually exclusive either to me. They're two different players. Were you going to give Alonso that money? Of course not. We know that. We're not stupid. But you got called on your bullshit and he got called on his bullshit. And here we are. Essentially what we thought it was going to be, whether we just couldn't figure out how many years it was going to be.
Here's my concern with this whole situation because it felt like because of the structure of this contract, there's this opt out after 2025 for next year, and essentially Alonso can become a free agent again, right? That's the structure of the contract. Now, say what you want, whether it was true or not, but a lot of people thought that last year because Alonso had this situation, this looming free agency, he had his quote unquote down year. I know it's silly to say that, but he didn't have the typical Pete Alonso year. Now he's back. Is he going to not get into his own head this year and have a good season? Because listen, guys, Alonso needs to have a good year this year. He needs to have like one of these 40, 45 home run years because now you're hitting in front of Soto. You got to protect Soto. That's the kind of the main thing here. So I guess my question is, are you worried about the structure of the contract and that maybe Alonso will be distracted yet again, knowing
Nope.
that I got to play well or you don't? Okay.
Nope, because I'll say this. We all know he wanted the years and the money. He didn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
So the next best thing for him was to get a 1-year contract, just like because essentially that's what this is, a 1-year
Yeah,
contract.
it is a 1 year. Yeah.
Because I could even admit, everybody's saying your down year was last year, couple maybe a year, the year before that as well. Your numbers started to drop. This is your opportunity to take that bat, turn it sideways, and shove it right up David Stern's ass. Because even
Oh,
if
shit.
because if you don't, even I'll take a step back and say, you know what, Alonzo, you had your opportunity. Nothing's going to change from here on out. These are the years that you're going to continue to produce,
Right.
and I would have to admit that.
Right.
This is take everything off the table. This is the best thing he had. This is the best deal he could have done for himself. Because you know what? You try to put everything aside. You just go out there and play baseball. You know how to deal with it now, being under a 1-year contract.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You
You've
know how
been
to
through it
deal with it
now.
now.
Yeah.
Now this is for your first time in your career. If they do the lineup the right way, you're protected by somebody. You're going to see a lot of fat pitches. It's just facts. And
My
who
mind went
knows?
somewhere else when you said pitches, fat, whatever.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, those thoughts and those thoughts only are only for Will Hernandez and not me. I do not promote that shit. I love all women, shapes, and sizes.
Yeah, okay, sure.
God bless.
You're full of shit.
So, like, you made me lose my train of thought, you piece of
About the
shit.
protection.
The
He's gonna
protection.
have
This is
protection on
this is the first time in his career. Just go through the history of some of the lineups that this guy has been part of. He was 1 year protected by, I think, Jake Marisnik.
You can't even say that. Try saying
Okay?
that 10 times.
So, Alonzo, just chill. Just go play baseball. That's it. Maybe then you'll get the contract from them. If not, somebody else will give it to you. F it. At least a 5-year contract. At least 4 to 5 years at the least.
Yeah. So let's have some fun with it because you mentioned it. What do you think the lineup looks like
Oh
now?
yeah, I got my lineup right here.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad.
I wrote it down today.
Okay, go ahead,
So
sir.
who's
What do
gonna
you
go
got?
first? Read Eric's
I'm
first.
using Eric's lineup because I like his
Okay.
lineup. Okay, let's go with Eric's lineup. So this is what his lineup was, and apparently he said that somebody on WFAN put this out there, and he's like, he's got the phone. I don't know what's going on here. Like we say stuff in this podcast, we text each other stuff, and it ends up on in the airwaves. Anyway, this was his lineup: Lindor, Vientos, Soto, Alonso, Nemo, Alvarez, a platoon between Winker and Marte, Siri, and Acuna.
Say that again one more time.
Okay. And by the way, I said Siri and my iPhone lit up. Okay, Lindor first,
Mm-hmm.
Viento second, Soto third, Alonso fourth, Nemo fifth, Alvarez sixth, the platoon between Jesse Winker and Marte hitting seventh, Jose Siri hitting eighth, and Acuna hitting ninth.
So Acuna, he got being
He
in a
has him
but there's a
over
what
McNeil.
so whatever
Yes.
position I have, you'll figure it out. There'll be a platoon. We already know who the guys that might be platooning. So
Sure. Yeah.
depending on who's going to be up on the starting, the rotate, who's going to be called up at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my
What do you
lineup:
got? Okay.
Lindor, Alonso,
Interesting.
Juan Soto, Vientos, whoever's going to be DH and Marte, whoever Winker, Marte,
Mhm.
whatever. Number
Okay.
5. Number 6, give me Alvarez. 7, whoever's going to be that second baseman, McNeil, Acuna, whoever it is, however you want to figure it out. 8, Siri. And 9, Brandon Nimmo.
Why do you have Alonso hitting before? What's your justification for the first 4? I guess because you said Lindor, Alonso,
Alonso, Soto.
Soto, and Vientos. Why?
Because it's going to give this is going to give, however, if you even want to interchange it between Alonso and Vientos, between those two spots, is going to give 2 people, because of Soto, better years.
Okay. Interesting.
Because they're both going to see pitches, whether they hit before him or they hit after him. Because no one's going to want to pitch to
I see
Soto.
what you're saying. So I mean,
So you want to put Alonso fourth and put Vientos second? I'm cool with that. You want to leave it the way I have it? I'm cool
I
with
see
that
what you're
too.
saying. I
Because
see
of
what you're saying.
Soto, he has the power to have control over the pitches
Yeah,
that 3 people get.
right. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, the interchangeability of Vientos and Alonso is probably going to help them. I mean, I have to admit, I'm concerned about the rest of the lineup, to be quite fucking honest. I don't have a lot of confidence in Alvarez. You know how I feel about him. Nemo had a down year last year.
That's why I put him in a 9th position, because 9th, as an advocate for the 9th place batting slot, that's why I always batted in Little League. It's like another leadoff hitter.
Yeah, the double leadoff guy. Yeah, right.
And he may get some more pitches there. He may get on base a little bit more. And it may get you, with 2 outs, it may start another rally.
Yeah, I
Then
can see
Lindor
that.
coming up. I like him in the 9th position. Are they going to do that? I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, I will say one knock, and Eric, this is not a knock against you, but maybe you don't want Acuna batting 9th only because I would rather see a veteran in there
No, I don't
in
want
that
Acuna
position.
9th. I want Acuna somewhere like, if he winds up playing like with McNeil and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind seeing him like 6th or 7th.
Hmm,
That's
I
a
can
that's a
see
good
that.
that's a good I think that's a good slot for him.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the
Plus
thing.
Nimmo
Yeah,
too strikes out too much. People
yeah,
forgetting
he
that he's
does.
been striking
Yeah,
out too much.
yeah, he definitely does. One thing I did want to bring up, and it's kind of related to everything here, because I think, listen, you and I have talked about. Excuse me, I'm trying to burp here. This pitching rotation's fucking trash. We don't have any confidence in this rotation. I think this is why the lineup worries me, is because I think the Mets are going to have to outscore their opponents. That's just the bottom line. Now, related to this, Michael K. Apparently, all these Mets fans are losing their shit because Michael K made these quote unquote disparaging remarks about the Mets signing Alonso, the rotations being trash, this, that, and the other thing. And yeah, maybe Michael K's just being a hater because he's a Yankees guy, whatever. Here's the thing. We have to, this is specifically for the pitching. And we've said it over and over again, and Lee J said it over and over again. Show me the ace on that staff right now. It doesn't exist.
Thomas on line 1.
No, but it's like these Mets.
There's no exist. You're delusional.
Well, that's the thing. This is the thing. This is the weird thing about fandom, I think, is because sometimes, and I think you and I are very reasonable, rational sports fans, because we will call out the shit when we see it, even when it's our favorite teams. listen, guys, this is the 35th episode. If you don't realize that by now, I don't know what to tell you.
I also think I
Sometimes,
also, not to interrupt you, I also think
yeah,
part of it, before I lose my train of thought, I also think part of it is that Mets fans are so used to how the Wilpons did business. Whoever does business now, you have total faith in them. You can't
right,
have that yet.
yeah, yeah.
We're really not there yet.
No, we're not, and you cannot sit there and use the excuse that, oh, they doubted us last year, and look what happened. The same thing. You can't rely on twos and threes.
Hitting lightning in a bottle again.
Right,
It's an
exactly.
expression, lightning in a bottle. It happens once every so often. It doesn't happen. No one says, yeah, lightning in a bottle every year. That's not the way it works.
That doesn't happen.
It's a flash in the pan.
Right.
There's reasons for these sayings.
Sean Mania, a flash in the pan last year. Now, I will give him one thing about that was the first time he's pitched as much as he did. Maybe now knowing that he'll come back and be a better pitcher this year. Maybe he'll go fucking 6 innings instead
God
of 5.
forbid.
You know, I mean, yeah.
God
But
forbid.
but I just think like Mets fans, you guys gotta just take a fucking and maybe it's because it was Michael Kay who said it,
It's
but
probably. I would probably say that's part of it.
yeah, but bro, what he's saying is not a lie about the rotation. It's shit. It sucks.
And as much as I don't like Michael K, let's be honest
I
here.
know you don't. I know you don't.
Right is right, is wrong. I agree
Right.
with him. And
Yeah.
plus, just because you don't like somebody and the job that they do doesn't mean they're not knowledgeable on things.
Right. Exactly.
He knows a lot
Yeah. He does. He
about the
watches a
game
lot
of
of
baseball.
Yeah.
He calls baseball games. He's been doing this a long time. So to say he doesn't know what he's talking about is false. This rotation sucks. When you start talking about, maybe we'll go 6, 7-man rotation, that tells me that you have no
That's a
idea what you want to
problem.
do. There's a problem.
It's a fucking problem.
That's what that tells me.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't tell you that as a fan that's been watching baseball for however long you've been watching it for, then you got your rear end not up your own ass, up Cohen's and Stearns' ass.
I mean, the biggest problem, I mean, the reason why you're talking about a 6, 7-man rotation is because you don't know what you're going to get out of Senga,
Nope.
honestly.
He's been hurt the majority of his career already with the Mets.
And Clay Holmes has to be stretched out to be a starter.
Wasn't that the problem? Well, we never. I granted it was under a different regime, but that's why Seth Lugo left, because the Mets never wanted to give him an opportunity to start. But Clay Holmes, who hasn't started in God knows when, you want to automatically make him a starter?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How's that work?
It's a good point.
How's that work?
I didn't think about that.
How's that work? Montez, I'm tired of that guy already. I'm already tired of him. I'm about to send him to Washington Heights and lock him up somewhere. I'm tired of his ass. And he hasn't even pitched for the Mets yet. I'm tired of him already. I saw you up and close and personal pitch against the Mets in Milwaukee, and you sucked ass.
Yes, that's very true.
You sucked ass, homeboy. Talking about you want to put our rotation up against anybody. You're delusional. Whatever you're smoking, please pass it. Because that's really stupid. And like we always said, we're not hoping that this happens. I don't mind eating crow and being wrong. I don't today as we speak. I don't see it.
Yeah, it's yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying.
By the way, the first spring training game is the 22nd, so it's next Saturday. But I did before we move on. There is one thing, and we've kind of talked about it. And now that Alonso was back, I wrote here in the notes. You've got this glut of players at third base now. Vientos is going to be the starter. We know that. But you've also got Mauricio. You've also got Acuna can play third base. You've got guys in the minor leagues that can play third base. Guess what, guys? You've got trade pieces now.
There's no reason some of these people, at least 2 of them, maybe even 3 of them, to get 2 good, not maybe star, but almost star pitchers. I can't explain it. You, like we said before, we mentioned before, you don't build your farm system just to build your farm system, because all these players are not going to play.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah.
Part of it is also to make a good trade that makes sense, especially when you need starting pitcher, at least one A pitcher, at least one. We have 0. We don't even have B pitchers. We have a bunch of D's.
Sir, relax.
Jesus,
Relax with the D's.
come on, man. What are we doing here? Shit.
Listen, I really do think that. Listen, I'm trying to be more confident in Stearns than you are because I know you're not a big fan of him right now. But I think that he makes a trade during spring training for a starter, and I think it's going to be a guy that's like borderline number one guy that can step in and really kind of be the anchor for the rotation. So we shall see. I am excited now. Trust me. When the news came out that they signed Alonso, I was like, okay, I can get excited about spring training now because I was a little This team
Not
was not.
excited. Not excited enough to pay $150 for opening day. I'll tell you that.
Can we talk about that for a second?
No.
Holy shit, bro! The prices on the secondary market for the Mets
And
opening
wasn't that
day
before taxes?
are ridiculous. Yeah, and guess what? The prices are for the Saturday game,
I
like
think we
40.
went over there, right? It was like
Yeah,
what, 40 you
yeah,
said?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
40.
I remember we talked about that on Friday.
Just like, come on, really? Danny was asking if we're going to go to that game, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's the plan. We usually do that.
Which one? With opening day?
No, the day
Oh,
after.
I was about to
The
say,
Saturday.
yeah, if he's paying. Sure.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, all right. Let's get into some basketball to end the show here. Ben Simmons.
Bye-bye.
Thank Christ.
There is a Jesus.
Listen. I gotta. We know I'm the Nets fan here. I'm trying to think, and obviously you follow the NBA. You follow the Nets for, especially since they've been in Brooklyn. I'm trying to think. Is this has to be up here with one of the worst NBA trades ever, right? I mean, that is that fair to say?
The
Ben Simmons trade.
I don't even. I thought this was fake. We really want to talk about this guy? Oh shit!
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Shit! Oops! This guy sucks.
Before you go on, for people who are unaware, the Nets bought out his contract, and he became a free agent. And did he officially sign with the Clippers? Did that actually happen?
I'm not sure if it's official. I'm not sure.
But carry on about the trade. I mean, this has to be like one of the worst fucking trades ever in NBA history. Yeah, they did sign him.
I don't remember what happened. I don't even know what even happened.
It was part of the Harden trade. Remember?
It was just. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. I was trying to. I don't even know how to explain it to this day. So I don't know.
I would like to know why Sean Marks still has a job at the Nets. That's what I'm gonna fuck.
That guy's been there, I think, about 9 years already, or something like that. I think. How long he's been there?
Let's look. And they got 15 million fucking draft picks. Like, come on.
For what? I don't know.
Let me just look it up quick. He has been with the Nets since he's only 49. Jesus Christ. Seems like he's been there forever. It doesn't say. Okay. Let's see. 2016. So 9 years.
Yep.
It'll be his 9-year anniversary next week on the 18th.
Fell right off that beautiful Popovich tree. Fuck out of here. Get lost.
Oh my god. Oh, you want to see this thing from his Wikipedia page? Marks told then owner Mikhail Prokofov, remember he was the Russian guy, that his vision for rebuilding a team that had collapsed to only 21 wins involved a process that would take several years to execute, and made clear that he was not interested in a repeat of Prokorov's previous win now approach. Well, that was fucking a lie.
Several years? What's exactly several years? Because if you give anybody an opportunity for 7 years to do their job right, guess what? You might as well hire me. What does that even mean?
That's insane, bro.
What is it? Who? What?
That's fucking insane.
When do we finally start turning this like periphery? This potential several year corner. When do we finally get there?
Well, I mean, I think that they thought they did that when they had the whole Durant, Irving, and Harden thing. But look how that turned out. It was a shit show at the end of the day.
Unbelievable.
I would love to know how this guy survived as long as he has. I really would. Somebody,
Here's a
please.
shrug jaw.
S- Jesus Christ! Come on, that's not nice. That is definitely
Talk
not
about people that
nice.
need to sell teams. They should start
Well,
chanting. That guy needs to sell the team. Somebody brought up a good question, and I think I kind of got an answer. They were like, the Nets are bad, but they still get good crowds.
they're winning
Apparently,
right now. By the way, they're killing the
yeah, I'm
Chicago
watching. I
Bulls.
have it on the
Yeah,
iPad.
yeah.
I think it's.
They do get good crowds. Yeah,
I just think it's part of it could be tourists going into Brooklyn.
I think you're right. Yes.
It could also be part of people maybe because if you think about it, if you're in Manhattan, any train in Manhattan, essentially, depending what part of Manhattan you're in, goes to Barclays Center.
Yeah. Right.
It's a cheaper ticket. I don't know what the food the comparison the what the prices are in the food
Hmm.
compared to MSG. But I know for me, me, you, your brother, whatever, we go to Nets games. Your brother has or Caesar has a partial package.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the Knicks game this year. I picked the worst team, the Wizards. The Wizards on a free. I think it's a Wednesday or something. The tickets were like 150. I'm like, come on, man. To sit up top to see them play the Wizards. The Wizards suck.
That's
I just want to
ridiculous.
see the Knicks play in person.
But you would have to go to a Nets game, and we've done that.
No, this is what I'm saying. And even
Yeah.
even even when the Knicks and the Nets were like both of them were good a couple years ago in that moment, the tickets still weren't pricey.
Yeah. They weren't over 100, if I
No,
remember
they
correctly.
were like 80 well, after taxes, 80 something dollars, which
Yeah.
is to me that's good.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that price Knicks Nets when they're both good at MSG. You're just not.
It's insane.
It's
What was the thing?
insane.
The thing last Saturday. Did I tell you about this? That somebody posted how because the tickets and this is against the Lakers game, and we'll get into the Knicks and Celtics from Saturday too. But somebody posted something where because I think the Knicks were playing in Toronto on that Monday, if I'm not mistaken, and it would have been cheaper for you to fly to Toronto round trip, get a hotel for a night,
And watch
and
the
it
game there.
and watch the game in Toronto in another country compared to sitting at MSG at the cheapest tickets in the 400 section.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. Okay, sir. Knicks, Celtics. What the fuck happened on Saturday?
There's no excuses. Their doors blown off, but Jason Tatum was in another world.
It was a dude. I was watching the game. I was like, I'm gonna.
I was
I wrote,
watching. I was
yeah,
like, eventually, I was like, all right, this is one of those games that no matter what the other team does, it
yeah.
does. Whoever you were, it didn't. If you didn't have somebody to match him shot for shot, it didn't matter. That guy was hitting. I can't even explain. He was in everybody. Everybody knows the what's oh my god, what's the term in the zone?
In the zone.
If
Yes,
you
yes,
play
yes, yes.
sports, you've been in the zone.
Yeah.
That guy was in the zone. There's no stopping you when you're in the zone. The basket looks like the Atlantic Ocean. You can't miss. That guy wasn't missing.
He wasn't, bro. It's
And
crazy.
then you go to play defense and him to try to stop him. The offense was flowing. Somebody else was open. They were hitting shots because it's all chemistry. It's like it carries to the next person. That's a thing to me, I think,
Oh yeah, I agree. In
especially in
basketball, yes.
basketball.
Yeah. In basketball, definitely.
So the Knicks have to get better at playing better all around against the higher echelon teams. Because if that doesn't happen, I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, I mean, that's. I mean, well, here that I do have a question though because it's like, and because Eric texted me, he texted me during the game. he kind of almost like knew I was watching, and I was because I was at my mom's. I went down to my mom's early because we had snow on Saturday into Sunday. What did he say? Knicks can't hang with Boston. That was all his. That was his text. So based off of what he said, and based off of what happened on Saturday, did Saturday's outcome concern you for the future? Because again, we've said it from the beginning, right? The Knicks got to get. You think they have to get at least to the conference finals, and you have to do that. You have to go through, probably have to go through Boston, maybe
The only
potentially.
good thing is that if everything keeps going with both teams, they won't play each other to the conference finals.
Yeah,
They're not going to play each other in the first or the second round, so that's a good thing. So they'll play whoever they play within those rounds. Teams that have like it's easier said than done, but I've always thought this was the thing to do. When you have a player like Tatum, and you got to find a way to stop him. And if somebody else gets 40, so be it.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
can't let Tatum do whatever the hell he. I mean, a lot of the plays too. It was good defense. I can't even front on that. He was just hitting. He was in the zone, man.
yeah.
So
That
that's a
was
little
getting
different to
down.
say they can't hang
Yeah,
with them. Being in the zone and can't hang with them is different because it's not like they got. Yes, the score looks like they got run off the court, but Jason, I can't even like. If you watch the game, this guy was in. I'm gonna keep saying it. He was in the
no, I
zone.
watched
There
it.
was
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
You couldn't stop. No one could stop him on Saturday.
yeah,
The
yeah.
shots he was taking down on the shot clock, shooting threes, step to the side, shooting a three. He was on fire, and then that just carried to the other players. Like Cornette was hitting shots. He's okay. He's not a superstar. He's a good bench player. Um, what's the white boy's name? God damn,
You're asking me,
what the
Mister,
hell's his
the
name,
NBA
man? He
expert
because
that I
if I'm not
am?
mistaken, he had a decent game. Pritchard. So and it just started to flow, and then by that time, because the Knicks made a run
Right, they did.
in the second
Yes.
half, and they cut the lead to 6.
Yeah.
But then Tatum came down again, 2 3-pointers, and the next thing you know, they're back up by like 13. I'm like, ah. So when one player or one team starts hitting a bunch of threes, and you're just hitting twos, and then you're missing on top of that, you're gonna be behind very quickly. And when they went close to 6 and then they went back up, they never looked back. It was already too late. The lead at that time was insurmountable. It was too big. It was 20, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, this game's over.
So the Knicks are playing tomorrow against the Pacers. So right now, as things stand, the Knicks they have the number 3 seed. Boston is number 2, and somehow the fucking Cavaliers keep winning. Everybody keeps on thinking that they're gonna fall off, and it just hasn't happened yet. So interesting.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that team. They got to do something in the playoffs and for them and for me to, think about them.
Mm, disrespect? Is that disrespect from you?
I just slapped you. What you gonna do?
Yeah, it's almost yeah. It doesn't seem like anybody's taking the Cavaliers seriously. It's interesting. By the way, quickly, let's talk about somewhat more of the aftermath from the trade from last weekend because Anthony Davis
No.
lasts a fucking half and strains his abductor muscle, and he's out now for a month.
The funny
Sir,
thing is
you
that
called it in some
the
ways.
the funny thing is that what was this on when did he play his first game? Was that Saturday or Friday? No, that was when was his first game? Whatever
I,
his first game was,
yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm seeing on social media Anthony Davis with some of the best 5 minutes in NBA history. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing?
What? Really?
So they had like a 5 minute clip, or not even 5 minutes, whatever it was, 5 plays or whatever it was. And I'm looking at this like there was nothing like special. And then right after that, bang.
When he got hurt.
Just just give it time. People are who they are, and it's just a matter of time. Sometimes it takes a longer period of time, sometimes it takes a shorter. For him, it happened to be a half of basketball.
It's fine.
This guy has an injury history. It's just what it is. It sucks because he's a great basketball player when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And when healthy, could I have seen it working quick in the moment for Dallas? Sure. But you can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this up. He's out a month now. Dallas was already in the 9th seed. They could be out of it by the time he comes back. Now what?
Yeah. By the way, Donich is debuting for the Lakers in about 45 minutes.
Is that game? Are they putting that game on
game is tonight.
television?
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, Danny made a comment before. By the way, did you see what the owner said about Donich? About his character? We still don't know exactly like what the fuck is happening here.
I'm starting to think some of this shit was made up just to get rid of this guy for whatever reason.
So
I don't know. I find this shit weird.
It is weird. So this is what the owner said. Patrick Dumont. Apparently, Cuban made a last minute plea to this dude to keep Donich. So Cuban didn't know. And we're talking about whether he knew or not, and he knew. So here's what he said. In my mind, the way teams win is by focus, by having the right character, by having the right culture, and having the right dedication to work as hard as possible to create a championship winning outcome. And if you're not doing that, you're going to lose. If you look at the greats in the league, the people you and I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they worked really hard every day with a singular focus to win. And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. And if you don't have that, you shouldn't be part of the Dallas Mavericks. Those who we want, I'm unwavering on this. The entire organization knows this. This is how I operate outside of basketball. This is the only way to be competitive and win. If you want to take a vacation, don't do it with us. Damn. Holy shit, bro.
This goes back to what we were talking about with the halftime topic. Like, I don't hear any. I hear shots being fired, but do we ever sit down and talk with this guy and say what's going on?
I mean, it's possible that they did it. It just didn't go through his head. I don't
We're
know.
We're not hearing that. You're not telling us that.
Right. Yeah.
You're just taking shots at the guy.
Yeah.
This guy. Forget about. Let's just from scratch, from zero. This guy's one of the best players in the NBA, and you essentially gave away peanuts. Fat, whatever you want to call him, chubby, alcoholic. He took the team to the finals last year and busted ass.
Yeah.
I think averaged 39-9, whatever it was. You don't do that because whatever you want to make up.
Yeah, bad work ethic. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. But they chose to do that. And ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm showing. He's actually in my house right now. Look at Anthony Davis right here. Listen, everyone. I'm hurt.
There goes his abductor.
The guy's made of paper. Listen, you trade me, you'll lose. I'm Luka Doncic, bitch. I like beer.
There he is.
Come on, bro. We can't make this stuff up.
Did you see somebody had a good meme about Anthony Davis basically being Mr. Glass? They had him superimpose on
That's it. That's who he is. He is who played Mr. Glass?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. That's who you are. That's matter of fact, let's just call you Samuel L. Jackson. Fuck it.
Holy shit, bro. All right.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up.
One last thing to finish us off here, because we don't have a Mount Rushmore. I don't think we really thought about that. But
no,
anyway,
we didn't think about it, so we move
fine.
on. That's fine. Yeah.
So one final thing, St. John's, baby. They are ranked number 9 in the nation. It's the first time they've been in the top 10 since 2000. Think about that. That's something. Sir, we watched, so for people, Lee J was over up here in Newburgh on Friday, and we did watch the game. You said something interesting that I think bears repeating, because you said how, you've watched a fair number of St. John's games now because of, obviously, me and Danny and Caesar all went there.
Yeah, you fucking Colts.
So, but you said something interesting where, because you watch, you're watching college basketball and you're watching it. You watch St. John's where, you see other teams that are out there that definitely have more talent than St. John's, but because of this defense, this fucking vaunted defense that St. John's is playing all of a sudden, you're not surprised that there are that they are where they are. And you think that because I think they're projected as a number 5 seed, if I'm not mistaken now, you think they should be higher than that.
That's disrespectful. If the tournament started today, it's hypothetical. They shouldn't be a 5 seed. They should at least be a 3 seed.
Wow. That's interesting.
Their defensive numbers, I've looked at them. They're incredible. And watching that game Friday, and listen, Connecticut is not what they used to be, but they still have better talent to me than they do, than St. John's does.
Yeah.
St. John's went on 2 long droughts. So now, offensive teams that are superior than them should run away from the game because of 2 droughts, 2 long droughts. But
Right.
guess
Yeah.
what? They couldn't do it. That pressure was phenomenal. That defense, those traps were phenomenal. They did that and they stuck. It's not like they were playing defense and they're saying, all right, we play defense, our offense sucks. And then eventually the mindset kicks in that you may slack a little bit and then the offense scores, meaning from the other team. They didn't do any of that. They stuck with their defense and you can see it. They're saying to themselves, eventually our offense will kick in just enough for us to win the game, but we're going to win it the way we want. 55-51, 60-58. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll see us score 72 points. But guess what? That team's going to score 71 points.
Right.
It's like old school NBA basketball they play.
The funny thing is that, and obviously, listen, guys, I have a long history with this because I went there. Hello, but prior coaches have tried to come into this program and play this type of defense. And Mike Anderson, who was there before Patino, that was one of his things because that's where he coached at. He coached at Arkansas. Where you have, what would they call it? The 40 minutes of hell, right? That was the defense that they played there in Arkansas. He was there on the team as an assistant coach. Nolan Richardson. He tried to come in here and do that, but they could never do it because they didn't have the players.
I was about to say, you got to know your personnel. You got to know
Yeah.
your plays. You got to know who's going to be willing. When you go recruit these plays, you got to see and you have to feel who's going to be willing to get down and dirty, slap the floor, and play defense. Patino, say what you want about him, all the bad stuff. We already know that. This guy can coach.
That's the thing. Yeah.
This guy can coach. He knows how to seek talent. He knows the talent that works together. You may not be the best, but if you listen to him and bust your ass, you're going to be a winner. No one saw this coming. I don't care what anyone fucking says.
No. And I told you this the other day.
Better than the first year? Sure, because that's what he does.
That's what he does, yes.
But not 20. They're 21-3.
Yeah.
What's that? That's 24 games. I could see 17-7. That's probably what more people saw. Maybe 18-6 if you're lucky. Not 21-3. I'm sorry. And they beat they beat Connecticut. They beat Marquette. This was just recently.
Yep.
Okay? That's it.
I will say one thing, because I wasn't crazy about them hiring Patino. I hated it because of the it was because of his history.
The bullshit, yes.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
But fair is fair, though. This 72-year-old man
can coach basketball.
Yeah, he's found a way to connect with these quote unquote kids. But the thing is that this guy has a aura about him. It's fucking Rick Pitino. He's been there and done that.
Because remember, that was one of the issues too. Can this guy at his age relate to these players?
Right. And he's done that.
And he's done it. And he's done it well. They bought in. There's not one time, even with Danny texting, the game's over. Like as usual. There was not one time when I was watching that game and I watched those players that they ever lost confidence.
Yeah.
I never saw that. I never saw that during that game. And that's been a lot throughout the course of the year of the games that I've watched, I should say.
I think they're now 6-0 and they've been down like 15 points or something.
Yeah, I think they were down. The most was 14 on Friday, I think.
Yeah. They're 6-0 in those situations where they're down big and they come back and win. Like, what the fuck? Now, you got to hit your free throws, please. Especially when you get to the NCAA tournament.
Definitely free throws. But also, as much as Danny doesn't like them because they're not a 3-point shooting team, even bad 3-point shooters when they're open eventually hit one or two. They got to find a way to hit a couple of those. A lot of those 3-pointers were open.
Yeah, they were wide open. Yeah. Yeah.
So if they find a way to hit at least 2 or 3 of those, I think they'll be fine. With the defense they play, they'll be fine. And I'm not one. Patino knows that.
Yeah, of course he
Obviously, he'll
does.
figure
Yeah.
that out. He watches the game. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's man, NCAA tournament this year is gonna be fucking my body's not ready for this.
That same hotel we stayed at, by the way, $75.
Oh, really?
Yep. If
Interesting.
we were thinking about going down on that Thursday and then chilling Friday and then heading back home Friday.
Yeah, because we'll have to. By the way, for people who are wondering what the fuck we're talking about, we're thinking about going to Mohegan Sun to the sports book for the first couple of days of the tournament. Yeah, we'll have to because we'll have to leave early on Thursday. Because I mean, I don't think St. John's would play until the nighttime. That would be my guess. And we don't even know they would play Thursday or Friday. But anyway, we can we'll figure that out when the time comes. So, all right, that's gonna do it for us. This is episode number 35. I'm Will Hernandez here for Mr. Lee J. Perilla, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Later.